exterior tastes salty. There's tears, but for no apparent reason. I just sit here and I look at myself on the screen, not in awe, seeing anything beautiful, or judging what I see in any way. It's just the wonderment that there isn't me. Watching myself is just like that. As if I was watching this thing, this image of me. It's how it feels in this moment looking at this screen, but also in many other moments. It's just me here. This sense of I don't know even how to describe it. This energy flowing through me, doing these things. And there's a knowingness of them, that they're happening. Yet the more I pay attention, the more I see I don't really control any of it. It just can feel so real sometimes, like I'm the doer. Even when I got locked out of the house, well, I wasn't locked out, but I was trying to get the key in the door, and I was feeling frustrated. I had so many things in my hands, and it felt almost like I was the cause of it. Like when I would believe my thoughts of frustration, it was like life was against me, and I was somehow causing this to happen because of something in me is not right. That doesn't do things right. That isn't right in some way, some profound way. And it's this sense that keeps me feeling so separate, so frustrated by life. But when I can let go of that, when I can watch it come and pass and see the futility in believing that, the suffering that causes, in some moments it becomes almost laughable. You see the silliness of the mind. In other moments you still buy into it. At least I do. It feels like because I said this, that person reacted that way. So I was the one at fault. When really, those words just came out of my mouth, and the other person reacted how they had to react. There was nothing personal about either of it. You know, we take life so personally. When things don't go our way, when people don't act the way we would like them to act, we don't get what we want. It feels like there's this deservability that's questioned. That we are somehow not enough. That we are the cause of all the hardships that come upon us. And in a way, it's true. We're the cause of it only when we believe the thoughts that we are. When we believe that we're the doer, we're the instigator. But the more and more we investigate within our own experience, the more we see that we don't cause any of it. The words just come, the experience just unfolds. Everything is just unfolding like a flower. Has no idea. We have no idea what is going to cause what or what happens next. There may be some good indicators, but we never completely know. Each moment is spontaneous. It's not even a moment. A moment is to divide it in time. But there is no beginning and no end of a moment. When does one moment start and the next moment begin? We can't experience that. It's an endless transformation of the same moment. Which isn't even a moment. We are the ones that are experiencing the moment, or the experience itself makes it seem like a moment, is what creates the moment. But the experience, it's just one experience constantly changing form. Different appearances come, different emotions come, different thoughts come, different events seem to happen. But it's all in the space of what we are. We are the ones that know anything. We are the source of all experience, the one experiencing it, and also undivided from that in which we experience. In a way, it's kind of like interacting with ourself. When things can't be divided, there is no longer a you and a me, a this or a that. We are one. The one spirit is taking shape as me, taking shape as you, taking shape as the dog, taking shape as the plant, taking shape as our food, as the sun, the stars. It's so easy to miss when we take ourselves to be separate, an individual entity floating around in this vast space. But what we don't see is that we are part of it. It's almost like all those bacteria in our guts, or the beating of the heart, or the breathing of the lungs. They can seem to be broken down into separate elements, but yet it's all one thing. It's all part of this body-mind. But it doesn't extend to that. We are then part of this whole spacious cosmos, or universe, I guess you could say. We are like the bacteria in the gut of the universe. A single organism with many different expressions, many different parts. Living all of us at the same time. Hmm. When we see the world as one, it becomes hard or near impossible when it really comes from the heart to then blame or judge anyone else. We see it all as a different expression of the one, delighted in the unique diversity of form. No image can really be compared to any other image. To compare it is to judge, to have a notion of one that is better and what is less than. But that's all conditioning of the mind. Years of training, what's good and right. But when we let go of all that training, all that conditioning of what's supposed to be good, beautiful, right, wrong, we can finally see everything with fresh eyes. How it really is. We can finally see its beauty, and it fills our heart with so much love. The conditioning of the mind still may have preferences and it may not like certain forms or expressions. But regardless, when we see our unity, we love it anyway. We see it as another unique expression. That's all. It's not meant to be judged. It's impossible to be made less than. It can just be a preference. Still beautiful in its own way. It's like the world is speaking to us. We're so busy trying to do and achieve and become, plan, that we don't hear it. We're constantly meeting angels all throughout our day. The universe is speaking to us through them. It's like another part of ourself. It's being reflected in the other. It has a message for us if we can avail ourselves to hear it. If we can be still enough, quiet enough within to not immediately throw up defenses and our guard. We can finally receive the gifts that are being offered to us all along. When we are still and quiet, we also see how we are effortlessly guided through life. Inspiration and intuition is constantly showing us the way. The separate self, the me, gets in there and wants things to be logical and rational and judges and fears the unknown. But the intuition, that inner knowing, we all have that. That's why, in a way, it is impossible to ask for advice from another. Another can never know the callings of your own heart. It's for us to go within and ask ourselves, for only we know what Spirit is calling us to do, or wants to do through us. When we live in this way, more and more, we walk through all the fear. We see how life is taking care of us, how life is living us. By life living us, we have nothing really to fear. It just seems so. So we walk on, give space for everything to arise. We no longer have to fear looking or being a certain way, feeling a certain emotion, because we see it's all part of life. Nothing has to be denied or suppressed, and none of it makes us wrong, inherently wrong or not good enough in any way. Because we feel anger doesn't mean we're a bad person. Because we feel sad doesn't mean we're depressed. It's the mind that puts those labels on our experience and tells us so, that we shouldn't feel that way. But yet we all do. And the more we try to hide it, the more we suffer inside. It's like those emotions just want to be experienced fully. And when we allow them to be experienced fully, there's actually some subtle joy in the background because of it. We can see that happiness doesn't look a certain way. Happiness is allowing whatever wants to happen through you to happen through you, no matter what it looks like. Sometimes it may seem bold and outrageous, other times quiet, transparent, sometimes angry, sometimes sad, sometimes excited. Being alive encompasses all of it. It is no wonder we feel incomplete when we cut off half of our human experience. And to know one side of emotion, we have to know the other. We live in a dualistic experience where we only know something by comparing it to something else, another experience. It is impossible to know success if we haven't known failure. It is impossible to feel joyous if we haven't felt sad. It is hard to know love if we haven't known hurt. How would we know if we were detached from something if we hadn't ever attached to something? None of it is wrong. Nothing you've ever done is wrong. It's all the life that wanted to express through you. We only think that we've done something wrong when we're comparing our experience, all those should-haves, could-haves, would-haves, or I should do, I could do, I would do if, when we're looking to the past and the future for our identity. We're comparing this experience to that experience, an experience that's already happened or could happen. When we let go of that, there's just this moment, this experience. We can finally feel it fully without judging it, suppressing it, denying it, trying to rid ourselves of it, feel shame because of it. Feel wrong, unworthy, not enough. We're everything we've been looking for. It's such a paradox, but it's true. We engage in the world with such fanaticism, seeking, even though we don't necessarily think or would call it seeking, but we're always looking for something. I'll be happy when syndrome, or I was happy when syndrome. We're romanticizing the future or the past. When I get married, when I get everything that I dream, when I get the house, when I have the kids, when the kids grow up, when I get retired. It's always life will be good when. And then we get what we want, and it still doesn't feel like enough. It fills us for a while, and then that hole inside comes back. And then for many of us, we think it's something wrong with us. I should be happy. I got what I wanted. Other people may affirm this for us and make us feel even worse. Yeah, I should be happy, but I'm not. Something's wrong with me because I'm not. So then we move on to the next thing. Well, maybe if I get this new job, then I'll be happy. Then I'll feel fulfilled again. That hole will go away. But many of us move from one thing to the next thing throughout our whole lives and never see the pattern. Always waiting for the next thing, putting our faith in the next thing, looking to the world to provide our happiness, looking to the future for our happiness to come, for peace to come, for a certain situation to unfold before we can finally rest here, now. But it never comes. And then we're lying there on our deathbed thinking, what happened? How did I get here and miss it all along? I had everything at every moment, but yet I didn't see it. I was too busy to see it. I was too busy trying to get to the next thing. Trying to fill a cup up that was already full. course, we don't experience it as full. It still feels empty in the moment. And when we start to let go of that seeking, that grasping at things in the future, it does throw us for a loop. It does feel very, very empty, dark. All those things that we said weren't that important suddenly become astronomically important. We see how all those little moments that we deceive ourselves throughout every day, where we say yes when we want to say no, or no when we want to say yes, where we do things to try to fulfill roles that other people want us to play, or when we do things to be safe instead of what our heart is telling us to do. We try to be logical and rational instead of listening to that inner voice, even though it makes no sense. No sense to others around us because they can't hear it. It's in all those little moments that we're deceiving ourselves, where we lose ourselves, where we then feel disconnected and empty. Because we've moved away from the life that wants to live through us. It's like we start swimming upstream when we can flow gently downstream. We fight it all the way along out of fear. And in truth, there really is only two emotions. We can label it all these different things, but it really is love or fear. When we look at our experience in each moment, we can see how we are acting either from a place of love and connection or a place of fear and separation, where we feel like we're separate from life, we're separate from others, we have to compete with them, we have to prove ourselves to them, that life's against us, that we have to win our life or get somewhere in our life. And we miss it. We miss it. There's nowhere to go, that the love is right here. There really is nothing to be afraid of when we realize that we are life itself. That we are here simply to experience life. The life living through us, as us. The life living through you as you. That's it. There's nowhere to go. In truth, there's nowhere to go. We see this even in celebrities. Yet we don't think it would happen to us. But once they get to the top, so many of them are found drug addicted, alcoholics, divorced several times. Some even being treated for depression, committing suicide. And yet when we delude ourselves into thinking that we'll be different when we succeed, when we get the money, the fame, the recognition, the beauty, life will be amazing. We'll be totally happy and it will never go away. But when we look to the world around us, it's not what we see. No matter where we get to in life, there's still only this. Us in every moment, experiencing ourselves, facing the whole myriad of emotions. We can't get out of this. No matter how fancy of clothes we wear, or surroundings we live in, we're still this, just this, so ordinary. The mind could label it as boring, but it's just this. Doesn't matter how extravagant our lives look on the outside. We're all brought back to this. It's the whole point of it all. It's not about the success and fame. It's about recognizing ourselves as this. Life. Experiencing every moment as life. Not separate from life, not a me and a life living through me, but letting go of the me completely. The me, the demands of the me, the my things, the my accomplishments. It can't be spirit is doing through me and there's still a me that's taking credit for it. There's no one to take credit for anything. It's a seeing that there is no me. We're not in control of any of it. It's all life living through us. Even deciding for us. Sometimes I get stuck thinking that I'm the one that's doing the deciding. Certain moments feels like it flows so effortlessly that's a moment when life was living through me. And in other moments it seems so chaotic and structured that must be me that did that. The separate me. But no matter how I feel or think about it, life continues to flow. Even when I'm doubting and confused, somehow things keep happening. And then I woke up one day and realized even that is it. It's living. Life is creating that as me too. It's just another way to keep us stuck and claim ownership of our failures. There's no one here to claim ownership of the failures, and there's no one here to claim ownership of the successes. And we're totally empty. The words just come, the actions just come. There's no one there to decide what is being said or done. So there's no one there to take credit for it. Everything is just spontaneously unfolding.